I offer my humble obeisances time and again unto my spiritual master, Shri Gaurachandra, Srimati Radhika, her associates, and her holy abode, Shri Vrindavan, and unto Shri Krishna, his devotees, and the devotees of his devotees. So, thank you for tuning in again for part number 7 of the Light Casts No Shadow series, translated on the go from Armin Risi's essay from 2005. And we have been discussing dualism in the last episode, so now here we are in part number 7, discussing atheistic monism. Monism derives from the Greek word monos, meaning one, solely, alone, etc. And that means to say that everything that exists is ultimately derived from one primal energy or primal unity, and that everything is one. So, on the philosophical ladder leading from darkness to light, monism is the highest step, because it comes closest to the true understanding of light, but it can also lead the farthest away from the true light. And that is an interesting point, because if the closer a half-truth is to the truth, the more difficult it is to distinguish it. So, whereas the previous steps were more or less atheistic, there is also a God-facing, a God-favorable form of monism, a theistic form of monism. And we will define this in more detail later. So we have to distinguish between an atheistic and theistic monism. Today, in this age of darkness, the atheistic monism is predominant. And that's why we want to first look at this form. And again, this is seen in two forms, and one we have already described in the very beginning, that is materialism. That is a covered form that is essentially also monism. So materialism is atheistic monism. That says that everything that exists, even life and consciousness, is coming from one primal energy, and that is matter. And this materialistic monism defines reality as the universe, the sum total of all matter. And what does that mean precisely? So let us look what one of the leading evolutionary biologists of this age has to say about it. Our dear Professor Richard Dawkins. He gave an interview to the Focus magazine in 1996. That was in week 52 on page 145, and he said, "The universe which we surveil or see has exactly those attributes that you would expect if there is no plan behind it, no intention, no good or evil, nothing but blind, relentless Gleichgültigkeit." evenness, carelessness. I don't know how to translate Gleichgültigkeit at this moment, but it means that everything doesn't matter, actually. There is no care, so to say. And he is right. End of quote, by the way. And he is right. The universe as the sum total of matter is neutral energy. If reality or God is defined as the totality of all energy, then that reality or God, without will, without intention, without any measure of good and evil, and of course without any mercy, then energy is working blindly, relentless, and it is a very tough formulation which is intended as a blow against religion, that all believe in a God of love and mercy. And according to the paradigm of the materialistic monism, such a God is an illusion. Reality or God is nothing else but neutral energy. And though we may see that there is a mistake in that, still it is good to see that it is a step in development when the old dogmatic teachings and ideas, pictures of God cannot be upheld in an awakening person. So of course they throw out the baby with the tap water here, but it's good to understand, I mean, probably most of us have had similar thoughts or are still having similar thoughts at some times. So it's good to understand it in more depth. So here, this material monism is not just materialism, as it was in the first, described in the first video, or actually in the third video, which it was dealing with materialism, but it is esoteric. An atheistic monist is not just a materialist who believes only in the laws of physical matter, but also an esoteric. That means someone who knows about the higher laws of karma, reincarnation, and resonance. And it's possible to believe in karma and reincarnation while still being an atheist, because they have a mechanistic understanding of those happenings. But not everyone who believes in karma and reincarnation, of course, is an atheist. The esoteric form of atheistic monism does not mean, again, that every form of esotericism is atheistic. So there are many variations and mixtures even. Esoteric can as well be theistic. But then, for the sake of philosophical distinguishing discernment, we don't just speak about esoteric, but of spirituality, because reality is understood or seen with its material and spiritual differentiations. Spiritual here meaning eternally conscious, not consciousness that has supposedly developed from matter. So consciousness is seen primal therein. Atheistic esoteric is the esoteric form of atheistic monism. So, because this is a very long chapter and we've touched quite a few points here, I'd like to continue with atheistic monism in the next video, and I'm thanking you for your attention, for your comments, for your likes and your shares if you care. So may the Om Love be with you, and Jai Radhe Shyam.